Hello everyone, Auvbri here, and welcome back to the last speed build that we're gonna do before the terrain tools are released. So this is the stacked modern, and I just wanted to do a super modern build before we start playing around with the terrain tools. And if you want to join me with the terrain tools journey, tune in on Tuesday, where we are playing around with the terrain tools in a live stream. So go follow me on Twitter, and you will get all of the information that you need there in a post. And yeah, let's just jump into the build. So excuse me, what I'm gonna do with this build is try to make it like hyper modern. I wanted to have something that seemed really big and at the same time really small. So we have all of these really interesting architecture going on in this build, especially on the one side that we're building now, where we have all of these moving parts going out from the build and kind of connecting to the build and seemingly seem to be holding the build up, which I thought was a really cool little idea. It was something that I saw in a video post, maybe. I can't remember. I had this design idea in my head all along, and I really wanted to put it into The Sims. And I thought this would be the perfect build to do it in before the terrain tools were released. So this build consists of 2 bedrooms, a large kitchen dining room area, and then we have several walk-in closets. We have 2 bathrooms and a large living room on the 2nd floor. I'm playing around with a lot of colors out here, and you're gonna see me change them a lot throughout this build. I was trying to figure out what the most effective way to have this build look would be, so it still looked modern. And we go through quite a lot of iterations. This build actually took a lot of time to do, just because I was just so focused on getting just the right aesthetics on the outside before I jumped on the inside. And once I do something like that, you guys know me, I cannot leave it until it is absolutely perfect and until I just feel like this is what it should look like. So that's kind of the deal going on here. I'm just trying to make it look as perfectly as I could. Now I'm working on some half walls here, and I wanted to have those trims, if we can call them that, go just on the inside of the half wall, but that just didn't go. It didn't want to do that, and every time I connected the other half of the half walls, it connected back and the trim was all over again. So we're going to change that in a little bit to a fencing that I feel like was the best representation of what I was trying to do here. But I'm just filling out these half wall areas so it kind of looks like it's blocked instead of being, just this masked on thing. I wanted everything in this build to feel very organic and like it had a reason for the architectural piece that was there. So seeing that we have all of these columns going around, wrapping around one side of the house, I tried to implement the other side that we're working on here. I'm going all over the place, but I tried to implement the other side of the builds to be a bit more natural looking, if that makes sense. I wanted it to be still modern, but still have a bit of modesty to it. Like, I wanted it to be not as busy as the rest of the house was. So it's kind of like the same style, but a bit toned down. That's kind of what I was going for. So here's where I put in the fencing. I'm going to change that again in a little bit. And this is again one of those things where I'm just all over the place, trying to make it look just right, whatever the cost. And I think this industrial kind of look went so well with the modern take that we had on it, that I stuck with it, and that's what we're going for. So the front of the build here is, we have this very high foundation, and I wanted to have that because it makes the build look more majestic, I think. Having these high raised up foundations just makes it look bigger and also more modern than you would otherwise think. And I was trying to go for that feel of, you know, like, okay, so we have a big staircase here leading up to the place, even though it's not actually that big of a house. And I actually didn't know what to do with the rest of the lot. So we have a garden in the back. We have some garden things in the front here, but the rest of the build I tried to tie into the surrounding area. So we actually have this beautiful lot here, which is actually the first time actually using this. So, oh my god, I need to stop saying actually. This is the first time I have ever built on this lot. It is located in Windenburg, down by the river, and I'm sure if you slow down the video real quick, once we turn around and look from the other side, you can actually see the garage house that I made in the background. So it is in that area. I just love the way that this lot was placed. The placement was just so perfect, and having it be near to a bed of water, like this riverbed here, was just so good. So I had to use it. But now I'm working on the exterior garden area here. Again, super modern looking. I wanted it to be very manicured and like something where you can just tell that people lived here, has the money to hire a gardener who has the time to spend on this garden. That's kind of the feel I was going for, and I wanted it to really reflect well on the house. So I decided to do something that I don't do a lot, but like make this little border around the whole garden area that we had following around the house. The reason that I don't do this a lot is just because I like this really natural garden look, but for this build I really needed it to be very manicured and high-end looking. And this, I'm gonna do something now, which is actually a trick that I saw another builder do. I can't remember who it was actually. Maybe it was the Sim Supply, or yeah, I'm not sure, but actually it was such a good tip. So if you have a foundation like I had that is raised up, and you're having trouble placing plants next to it because the foundation wants it to go up to the foundation level, then you can just raise the foundation down, and the staircases and all that will still be there, and you can kind of see the outline, and then place your plants and raise up the foundation again, and then you have the perfect plant placement, and they won't go up with the foundation again. And it's a really good trick. I didn't know that, and I honestly don't remember where I saw it, but it's just one of those things that once you learn it, you cannot unlearn it. It's a really good trick. So here you're seeing me try to blend in the rest of the build with the surrounding area here. And as you can see, it's a very minimal looking area, so I was trying to kind of match that and have the house lot kind of be in between the like outer worlds type stuff and still kind of blend into what I was trying to do. So I kind of just created this little seating area with a bench, and that's kind of it. And, you know, some street lights, and that was it. I mean, that's just how I blended it in, and I think it looks somewhat natural. It's blending in really nice, and I think that the stone that we actually chose to blend in with the surrounding terrain paint, if we can call it that, mixes really well. So overall super happy about that. A little pool area in the back here, and then I also wanted an area for a barbecue. Just working on some lights for the after hours time, but yeah, back to the barbecue. I wanted to have a barbecue in the back that was on a kind of raised deck, and you're gonna see that in a little bit. I fiddled around with a lot of ideas trying to figure out what I could do with that, just to, you know, make it look nice. So I decided to go with the flooring that we have on the decks of the builds, so kind of on the balconies, and try to recreate that into a nice little area where we could put a table and a barbecue, some chairs, and have a nice time. So this is kind of the place here. I didn't want it to be too big. I just wanted to have the opportunity or the option to actually throw a barbecue party out here without having for you guys to build it in afterwards, like an afterthought. But I loved how this turned out. I mean, it's different and it fits the build really well. So let's jump into the build here. Now I'm trying to fiddle around with the placement of the staircases, which is something I'm always struggling with. I wish that they would bring in spiral staircases at this point. I mean, it's been 4 years. Where are they? What's going on? Why have we not gotten those staircases yet? It's a bit troubling to me. I mean, at least if we could place stairs on an angle, that would be super good. But we can't do that either. So we just have these staircases to use. And I know a lot of other builders as well feel this way, but we have such limited use of staircases, and also there's the styles of the staircases. I mean, 50% of the staircases just look the same to me. They have the overall same style, which is why I find myself keep coming back to the staircases that I know work with the builds that I want to do. So we use the staircase, which is super modern looking. Excuse me, super modern looking and clean, and you just know works in this build. So right when you walk into the building, we have this big, huge dining room space, and onto the right side there's going to be a walk-in closet where you can put your coats and all that good stuff. And I really love the idea of just walking right into a big open space where you could just see what's going on. So we walk right into the dining space, and I'm going to build the kitchen in a little bit, which is going to be a long kitchen. Not like I like to do these really compact, smaller kitchens, but this is a big kitchen. It goes from one end of the wall to the other end, and I'm trying out something new here and doing different stuff, which I think that you guys are gonna appreciate. Yeah, very big kitchen. So I wanted to have this shelving unit, also these from the Jungle Adventure stuff pack, which again is a stuff pack I love raving about because most of the stuff in that game pack was just so good. So the shelving unit, which we're gonna call it, with the wine glasses and the dishes in it, I used just because I thought it was such a good idea. Now here's another idea I saw from Delicacy maybe, where if you take a shelf, scale it up, and take a normal desk, which you can put a computer at, and put a PC on top of that and scale the desk down, you can actually make it look as if the computer is on top of the shelving unit, which is a super fun idea. So I decided to do that. It's not actually usable. I do put in another computer upstairs, so you seem have that option to use the computer if they want to, but that was just for purely aesthetics and because I thought it looked so fun and it was different, so I decided just to implement it into the kitchen here. So yeah, I'm working a bit all over the place here because there was a lot of stuff to put in, and once I saw something that I wanted to have in this big room, I just placed it, to be honest. So that's kind of what we're doing here, just going around trying to fit everything in. And you might be thinking, okay, so he doesn't do the wallpaper until now. That is so unusual. Yeah, it is actually really unusual of me. I honestly always do the wallpaper first and then try to match the style to the wallpaper, but I wanted to do something different here, so we started doing the interior and the styling with the furniture first, and then I had to match the wallpaper to the style that I chose. So in the room here, I decided to bring the outside style to the inside, and I think it looks really good. I mean, it just fits the overall vibe down here so well. And once we move upstairs in just a little bit, you're gonna see that the style still keeps being modern, but we bring in more pastel colors and a bit more muted tones to most of the rooms upstairs. Still keeping it colorful like I like to do, but yeah, just a bit more of some pastel colors just to kind of mute everything down, because let's face it, the downstairs here, I think it turned out really great, but it is a very busy look, so I wanted to not have the whole house feel busy all the time, but still have some sort of modern edge to it. So pastel colors and modern furniture is really a good way to go if you try to achieve that look. So still bringing in the wallpaper from the outside just to have some sort of cohesive look throughout the house, and a nice kind of muted yellow pastel color here, which I thought just fits so well with the color scheme. Another walk-in closet. I don't know, I'm just really into those at the moment. I love how they look, and having a walk-in closet, just the idea of having that in a hallway where a lot of clothes is just hanging, is a really cool idea to me. It's definitely something American, but I would love to have that at the moment. I'm just so tight for closet space. I have dresses instead of an actual closet, so I just have tons of dresses in my room filled to the brim with clothes that I don't get to wear that often just because I'm working so much. So the idea of a walk-in closet would just be the best. But as you saw while I was rambling on, I created this little workspace desk area, and I put in a computer. Again, muted colors, still modern look, and throw in some plants here. Now the 2 bedrooms that I'm going to build here, this is what I would consider the master bedroom, this one here. It still keeps the same color scheme from the little office hallway area outside, but I tried to still make it modern looking and having that edge to it that we really love to do. I didn't put any curtains in this build And honestly, it's because I just don't like the curtains in the game. I don't feel like there's any super slick modern looking curtains that I wanted to use, so it was better off just not using any. A little couch in the corner here, and this is pretty much the master bedroom as we move into the other one. Now, I didn't want to retain the same color scheme in this bedroom, so I went in the opposite direction, and I thought, okay, so the opposite of yellow in my mind is blue, so we chose a blue pastel color in here, still keeping the color scheme on the wallpapers from the outside as well with this. I'm not even sure what they call it in the game, but like this water scrubbed stone kind of feel, and I love how it looked. It came with the fitness stuff pack, and honestly, I only bought that stuff pack just because I liked so much of the stuff in there. I mean, not that there's a lot of stuff, quotations, but the stuff that was there, like for example this rug here, again, loved how it looked, and I just thought, okay, so that's worth buying. And I said this in the last live stream that we did, where somebody asked, I believe somebody asked if I had all the stuff packs, and I said no, because honestly I don't want to buy all the stuff packs. Most of the stuff packs in my mind are just not good. They definitely are not as good as they used to be, stuff pack wise. They have definitely slacked off on that part. So I just don't buy the stuff packs anymore. Honestly, Vintage Glamour is probably the only stuff pack that I want at this point in time that I haven't gotten. Simply just because I don't have the money to both buy stuff packs and also buy expansion packs. So I was just deciding to go with the Get Famous expansion pack and wait a little for that stuff pack to come out, because I think that stuff pack has a lot of cool stuff as well. But stuff packs like my first pet or whatever it's called is just the most ridiculous cash grab I have ever seen in my life. So definitely shame on you for that, EA. But here we have the screenshots. So I love how this turned out. It's kind of like this ultra modern style, like ultra modern mixed in with a little bit of industrial vibes. I think it's just so good, and I love how this turned out. So remember, if you want to get the build, you can get it on the gallery right now. It is under my origin ID, Auvbri. Should be able to find it. If you can't find it, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will try to figure out what's going on. But yeah, Origin ID, Auvbri. Also follow me on Twitter. I'm a lot more vocal on Twitter these days, and that is where I'm going to post about my live streams and upcoming builds, where you guys can kind of come with ideas of what type of builds you want to see. So definitely go check me out on Twitter as well. Link in the description down below as we see the last couple of screenshots here. So the living room, the first floor where the bedrooms are, and the ground floor where we have the living space and kitchen area. As we walk into the last screenshots here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to download, like, subscribe and share this video, and have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world.